The 2025 Canadian federal election was one for the history books. It was an election brimming with drama, unexpected twists, and a palpable sense of anxiety about the future. The election saw Canadians grapple with issues ranging from the cost of living to the global political climate. Looming large over the entire election was the shadow of Donald Trump, the former U.S. president known for his aggressive rhetoric and unpredictable behavior. His pronouncements on Canada, often laced with thinly veiled threats, added an unexpected layer of complexity to the Canadian political landscape. Against this backdrop, Canadians prepared to head to the polls to elect their next government. The stakes were high, the choices stark, and the outcome uncertain. The 2025 election was not just about choosing a government, it was about defining Canada's place in an increasingly volatile world. The election marked the end of an era, with Justin Trudeau stepping down from the Liberal leadership. Into this void stepped Mark Carney, a man with a formidable reputation in the world of finance but untested in the political arena. In a stunning turn of events, the Liberal Party, under the leadership of newcomer Mark Carney, secured a historic fourth consecutive term in office. This victory was far from certain, with early polls suggesting a comfortable Conservative win. However, a confluence of factors, including the looming presence of Donald Trump, propelled the Liberals to victory. Carney, a former central banker with a calm demeanor and a steady hand, proved to be a stark contrast to the bombastic style of his American counterpart. His message of economic stability and international cooperation resonated with Canadians, particularly those wary of Trump's unpredictable nature. The Liberal victory was a testament to their ability to adapt to changing circumstances and connect with voters' anxieties. It also highlighted the enduring power of the Liberal brand in Canadian politics. The win was not without its challenges, with the Liberals falling short of a majority government. This meant that they would need to rely on the support of other parties to pass legislation, adding a layer of complexity to the political landscape. Mark Carney, the man who led the Liberals to an unexpected victory, was an unlikely political star. A renowned economist with a stellar international career, Carney had never held elected office before throwing his hat into the ring for the Liberal leadership. Born in Fort Smith, Northwest Territories, and raised in Edmonton, Carney's path to political leadership was anything but conventional. After studying at Harvard and Oxford, he embarked on a successful career in finance, working at Goldman Sachs before transitioning to public service. He served as governor of the Bank of Canada during the tumultuous years of the 2008 financial crisis, earning plaudits for his steady hand and decisive action. He then went on to become the first non-Briton to lead the Bank of England, further cementing his reputation as a steady and capable leader in times of crisis. Carney's decision to enter politics surprised many. However, he argued that his experience navigating complex economic crises had equipped him with the skills needed to lead Canada through uncertain times. His message of economic competence and global engagement resonated with Canadians, propelling him to the forefront of the political stage. The 2025 Canadian election was unique in many ways, but perhaps the most significant factor was the outsized influence of a foreign leader, Donald Trump. The former U.S. president, known for his inflammatory rhetoric and disdain for international norms, cast a long shadow over the Canadian election. Trump's pronouncements on Canada, often delivered via social media, ranged from the economically threatening to the downright bizarre. He threatened to impose tariffs on Canadian goods, suggested annexing Canada as the 51st U.S. state, and repeatedly denigrated Canadian leaders. While intended to appeal to his base in the United States, Trump's words had the unintended consequence of uniting Canadians against him. His behavior, seen by many as bullying and disrespectful, fueled a sense of national pride and a desire to assert Canadian sovereignty. The Liberal Party, under Carney's leadership, was quick to capitalize on this sentiment. They positioned themselves as the party best equipped to stand up to Trump and defend Canadian interests on the world stage. This strategy proved to be effective, rallying Canadians around the Liberal banner. Section 5. A Liberal Resurgence. The Liberal Party's path to victory was far from smooth. Early in the campaign, they found themselves trailing in the polls, weighed down by the perception of fatigue after nearly a decade in power. The rising cost of living and concerns about the affordability of housing emerged as major issues, with many Canadians feeling left behind by the Liberal government's policies. However, the Liberals, under Carney's leadership, were able to turn the tide. They skillfully shifted the focus of the campaign away from domestic issues and towards the perceived threat from Donald Trump. Carney, with his international experience and calm demeanor, presented a stark contrast to Trump's bombastic style, appealing to Canadians seeking stability and predictability. The Liberals also benefited from a series of missteps by the Conservative Party. Pierre Poilievre, the Conservative leader, struggled to distance himself from comparisons to Trump, despite his attempts to condemn U.S. interference in Canadian affairs. This association with Trump proved to be damaging, particularly among moderate voters who were turned off by the former U.S. president's style and rhetoric. As the campaign progressed, the Liberals gained momentum, capitalizing on their message of economic competence and their ability to stand up for Canada on the world stage. Their resurgence culminated in a stunning election night victory, securing them a historic fourth consecutive term in office. Section 6, the Conservative Campaign, Grappling with the Trump Effect. The 2025 election presented a unique challenge for the Conservative Party of Canada. While they initially enjoyed a comfortable lead in the polls, the political landscape shifted dramatically with Donald Trump's re-emergence on the international stage. His unpredictable behavior and aggressive rhetoric towards Canada created a dilemma for the Conservatives. Pierre Poilievre, the Conservative leader, found himself walking a tightrope. He attempted to capitalize on the public's anxieties about the rising cost of living and affordability, traditional conservative strongholds. However, he also had to contend with the specter of Trump, whose shadow loomed large over the campaign. Poilievre struggled to distance himself from comparisons to Trump, with critics pointing to his own populist rhetoric and attacks on the media. Despite his efforts to condemn U.S. interference in Canadian affairs and affirm his commitment to Canadian sovereignty, the association with Trump lingered, damaging the Conservative brand, particularly among moderate voters.